the book of Acts, every time there's a move of God, then there's a move of the devil to counteract the move of God. But if the people will do what John said and pray, there's a greater move of God. Pray and receive us in you than he that is after you. And so we saw some things. But here's the testimony, and Brother John Willis and his wife are here from Faith. I want you to come share that testimony of a miracle. How many needs a healing tonight? How many needs a miracle tonight? If you get ready, hear this. Go on a hand of praise as he shares.
Well, I'm here tonight because I got on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Brother John was talking about how that he couldn't be satisfied with church like it normally has been. And once your eyes have seen the glory, you're messed up right now. You cannot go back to religiosity. But that's another testimony. I was touched in '93 mightily in a meeting. But the testimony he speaks of, prior to January the 31st of last year, I began to get very ill. I didn't know what was wrong, but I lost weight over a period of a couple of months. 3 months, I lost over 40 pounds. And I didn't know what was going on, but finally in January, I began to vomit uncontrollably and all night long. And finally, told my wife, said, we've got to go to the emergency room. And I thought I had the flu or something, and I didn't know. And I went to the emergency room, and they checked me in and everything, and they checked my blood sugar, and it was 621. I didn't even know I was diabetic. It was news to me. And they said, finally they did some more tests, found out I had diabetic ketoacidosis, which is when your body makes so much acid, it starts devouring your body. Not only was I losing fat, I was losing muscle, I was losing everything. My hair was falling out. All kinds of problems. This happened in January the 31st when I checked myself in the hospital. Well, hurrying along, the next months, they released me from the hospital on a regimen of insulin, 4 shots a day. And that went on all the way up until August, the 27th of 2015. And when we attended the Mario Revival at Jubilee in Branson West. And while I was there in the meeting on that Thursday night, Brother Mario was ministering as he does, and he walked by a certain section that I was sitting in. He said, there's 4 people in this section. You have diabetes. And of course I leaped to my feet, you know, that was my clue. And as he began to minister to me, he said, God is healing your pancreas. Said some other things about restoring the ministry that God had called me to, but he said, God is healing your pancreas. He's healing your back. That's another thing. God's healed my back. I've suffered with back pain throughout my entire life. And I'm doing work of a 20-year-old man many times now. You know, shoveling gravel and carrying concrete blocks. But that's in addition to the diabetes. But I didn't think too much about it. I didn't really feel anything all that much. You know, God's healing many times is gradual. It's progressive. Sometimes it's a miracle. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes it's over time. So I went home that night, and the next morning I got up and I ate breakfast and I took my shot as I normally did. I took 4 shots a day. 3 shots, 1 with each meal, and then 1 before I went to bed. Total of about 40 some odd units per day. Got up, I had my breakfast, and I took my shot. Went out in the backyard to do some work I was doing. And I was only out there about an hour, and I almost passed out. Everything just began to go around in circles, and I bottomed out and ran in the house and ate an orange and drank a Coke, everything I could get my hands on that had sugar on it. And I thought, well, that's strange. You know, it hasn't been happening like that. And so I didn't think too much about it still. And we were going to the revival in Branson West that night, and so we got in the car, and I got about halfway over here and checked my blood sugar again, and it was 124. Wasn't really, you know, didn't think too much about it. And so then I just kept, I'm not an idiot, I kept checking my blood sugar. I didn't just quit taking insulin without, you know, checking it. So I checked 3 times a day, every day. 1 day turned into a week turned into a month. Now it's 3 months. And from August 3rd, 27th 3 months passed, and I religiously took, I love that, religiously. It's normal, 100, 90, 91, 95, 98, 103. And I'm eating regular, normal meals with 0 insulin. And so I'm documenting this. I've got it all documented. I've got it on thumb drive. I had it on paper, printed it out, and I had a checkup with my doctor. I went in and for some other checkups. And while I was there, I handed him that list. Had it all graphed out there. I said, "What do you think of those blood sugars?" And he just kind of glanced at me. "Well, that's pretty good. You know, that's good." I said, "Well, that's a result of prayer. I received prayer for my diabetes, for my pancreas, and that's the result of that. Haven't had any insulin." He said, "Oh, that's good." And he's just ordered A1C. You know, doctors go by the numbers. They hear this stuff all the time. People come in, I'm healed. You know, and many times it's just presumption, and they don't check themselves. And so he just turned around and ordered A1C. He drew blood. And I went home that evening. I'm outside in the backyard hitting my golf ball around the yard in the backyard. The phone rings, and it's my doctor. It's like 7 o'clock at night. And, you know, I thought that was odd, and I answered the phone. He said, "This is your doctor?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Your labs are incredible." Yeah. I said, "Really? Tell me about it." You know? And he said, "Your A1C is so low, it's at the low end of someone who never even had diabetes." He tried to trick me up. Well, first he said, "This is funny." He said, "It seems that you have cured yourself of diabetes." I started laughing. I said, "Sir, that's not the way this is not the way this works." I said, "I told you I received prayer. I know where that came from." Yes. He said, "Well, that's good." And he tried to trick me up. He said, "Now, what kind of insulin you're taking now again?" And I said, "Sir, I haven't had any insulin in over 3 months. Not a single shot." That was in August the 27th when I was healed. Instantly. Yeah. Yes. This August will be 1 year. Checked my blood sugar last week. It was 98.